Welcome back, Deadites and Ghost Beaters, and as promised, this is day 2 in a row of videos from Evil Dead the Game. We dropped 2 yesterday. One was on the need for prestige system, the second one was on the Savini 2.0 skin, and we're going to keep diving into further stuff the game needs, or what you should know to make your experience better. And today we're going to focus on, as is referred to by our friend Panzer, the balance bar deleter 9000s of Evil Dead the Game. And why is this so important? Because of how the game has been shifted since the update of 1.10, or the Army of Darkness update. If you like this Evil Dead content, please drop a like and a comment on the video below. It does really help the channel. Of course, I answer all my comments. Smash the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell for all Evil Dead and horror related content, of course. Click on that link below as our Discord. We have a thriving Evil Dead and horror-based community, so if you're looking for people to play with, or just talk about horror video games and movies, just click on it. Join us. We're a very opening and welcoming community. Now, what I want to talk about is how the game shifted since the change. And one of the big things that shifted it is what has happened to demons. Demons kind of got really slammed on the balance bar, and you can really go for the kill as a survivor by bringing one of these two characters. So, most of the points is how you're going to play the game, and it's usually going to depend on group construction. And depending on what your DPS classes are running is going to make a difference for who you want to bring along. Now, if you're running mostly ranged hunters, then obviously option 1 would be Annie, and there's for a multiple of reasons. And first of all and foremost is the way she can break down balance bars on pretty much everything. So Annie's level 10 skill, Haymaker, attacks by you or your teammates within the aura's effect radius cause more damage to the balance bar of basic units. When right now, Necro basics are really the only thing scary in the game, and that's very helpful, regardless of whether it's melee or it's range. So regardless, Annie right now is playing a huge role. And then when you hit level 25, she gains Slugger. Attacks by you or your teammates within the aura's effect radius cause more damage to balance bars of elite and boss units. And that's why you're starting to see a lot of boss stuns, but you really didn't see before, is 1, the lowering of the balance bar, and 2, the combining of a lot of leaders finally seeing some light of day. And a lot of times over the last few months, leaders have kind of been left to the wayside. They kind of nerfed them, and then they boosted them, and then they couldn't figure out what to do with them. And now as balance bar deleter 9000s, they're really good shape. And then of course, on the range side, it's a combination 1-2 punch of Howitzer, which increases all range damage for everyone within her aura. And of course, when she pops hit them where it hurts, then it just boosts everyone dramatically, which stacks on top of her already boosted range damage. And that can lead to a lot of range DPS and dismemberment damage directly to your opponents, while of course basically shrinking down what little balance bars they actually have to start with. But she's not the only one. There's also Lash, who's now kind of been boosted as well, the increase of his aura as well as what he brings to the table. Now, Ash's perks aren't necessarily as delightful, but there's a reason he is as good. So the first one that really doesn't do anything, of course, is Old Friend. Like, Old Friend doesn't matter at all. He just level 10 starts with a chainsaw. It's kind of moot to this entire build, but unlike Annie's perks where all 4 of them kind of play into it, that's the only one that doesn't have any kind of bearing. So show up and blow up is the key. And show up and blow up, you want to make sure you're running quicker cooldown for show up and blow up, because this is the whole point of Leader Ash right now. Show up and blow up is the ability to generate an explosion damaging enemies' balance bar. And when little balance bar they have left, when you hit that, it's basically you breathe on something and it dies. Even bosses are struggling against show up and blow up right now. Now El Jefe, of course, plays into it, and an aura that affects all survivors within range, increasing their fear resistance and the damage they inflict. So it's a twofold. They're not receiving as much fear, which is a thing that is really good when you're going against Necros, because right now Necro is one of the few things people are trying to do, is running that high-end combo of 12 hits on possessed basic units with Necros. So you also get that fear component that raises with Necros most of the time. So this kind of negates that, as well as dealing damage, and of course that balance bar deleter. And then of course at level 25, El Jefe Grande enhances your aura's effects when you perform a finisher or dismemberment on an enemy. And so as you're basically deleting everything, doing finishers or dismemberments, you're getting exactly what you want. You're just increasing that power of the aura. It's reducing the effect, of course, of fear, as well as raising that damage. And of course, as blow up and show up keeps popping, you're causing less and less ability for demons to defend themselves. And a feat is not really that hard right now, and really making quick games. And I've seen some groups now running double leader with Lash and Annie, and it's over quick. Just bring the 2 DPS that, fit the best, Hash, AOD, you want to tank Henry, maybe just good old Amanda or Kelly. Like, you can do a ton of damage and just kind of walk through your enemies because they're paper thin right now. And that's kind of what's happened with this patch, is when you bring balance bar to leader 9000s, it makes it very hard for the demon to keep any kind of pressure because they're all paper thin. And that's what you want to do if you want to farm spear points as a survivor right now. Those are some of the characters you should have in your 25 arsenal to make sure that you're doing a hell of a job just cleaning out all that balance bar and doing a shite ton of damage to everyone. And there you go. Thanks for watching. Later, mates.